There is a stigma that if you're from a third world country and you marry somebody from America or Canada, anywhere from like a rich country, there's a stigma that, you know, that person who came from a third world country, from the third world country, there's a possibility that that person only wants money from, you know, from the guy. I feel like there's a stigma like that. I don't want to boss James around.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't want to be that kind of wife. Although this is still a mission field, but it's a different kind of mission. My mission is to satisfy James. I thought, when I was single, I thought I already knew myself 100%. But when I got married, it was like, oh, there's this part of me that I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that I can be like this monster.
This is my sister-in-law. She married my brother and she's from the Philippines. And she's probably one of the most amazing people I've ever met. I'm not gonna lie, she runs her own business. She's so, you're so humble about it. But she has her own business and it's amazing. And you run the business with James, which is really cool. James is my brother. And we just had a really cool relationship with him, so. Yeah, I just thought it would be cool to get her perspective coming from the Philippines and marrying my brother. So some of these questions will probably be pretty cool.
Ooh, I'm excited and nervous at the same time.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide.
Oh my gosh. All right. So what did you do to prepare, not just for marriage, but even like coming to the United States? Did you do anything in particular?
I did a lot of things. So in order for me to marry her brother, I had to move to the States. So I had to prepare a lot of things, like physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. But probably the biggest thing really that I had to prepare is my career. So I had to leave my full-time job during that time. And that is because I won't be able to do my full-time job in the Philippines when I was already here in the States, right? So it kind of makes sense just to leave that job and start a different career. And so when James and I thought about getting married, and when we decided that I will be moving here in the States, I thought about what I want my life to look like, you know, and I'm a very visionary person. Like, I tend to plan things ahead.
Yeah.
I plan my life.
Right.
I plan my marriage. And so when I was in the Philippines, I thought to myself, like, how do I want my marriage life to look like? And I told myself that I didn't really want to be that kind of wife or mom to my future kids, and you know, and not be able to take care of them. Like, I don't want to have a 9-to-5 job. Like, leave the house early,
Yeah.
get back home late in the evening, and not be able to take care of my husband and my future kids, because what's the point of starting your own family if you're not gonna be able to spend a lot of time with them, right? So I told myself, well, maybe I can just do some freelancing. And so I started freelancing as a virtual assistant, and from there I moved to the States, and my business blew up, and up to the point where I can ask James to leave his job, but he didn't really leave his job. Something happened that he needed to leave the job, and so now he's part of the business, and we're really enjoying our time together. So that's one of the things I had to prepare. And second, of course, is, you know, I had to prepare financially, because I don't want to be in a marriage where we worry so much about money. I really want us to enjoy life and spend time together.
That's good. So on that topic, what's it like running a business with your spouse?
I want you to tell me the truth.
I really loved that we are working together and we get to spend time, you know, together a lot. But even before we decided that he's gonna join me in the business, I talked to a lot of people. I talked to my mentors. I talked to James. about it because I don't want to boss James around.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be that kind of wife. And we also talked about having our own space. So although we work together every day, we see each other every day, we make sure that we get to spend time individually as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably need that space when you're,
Yeah,
'cause
you
you
know.
work from home, so it's probably trying to create that dynamic of like having
Yeah.
that space. Yeah.
And boundaries as well, because we work from 8 to 5. Although there's a lot of flexibilities between those time, like when we work between 8 to 5, at exactly 5. Let's not talk about
5 o'clock.
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Like 5:00 We're gonna stop talking about work. And so that's something I had to communicate with him, and even before 8 a.m. because 8 a.m. is the normal hour the normal time that we start work. Like if it's 7:59 a.m., you can talk to me about work. You talk to me about work between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Just stop. Just stop doing it. You're going to drive me crazy.
And that is because I want boundaries, and I don't just want to talk about work all the time.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's really good. All right. So how did you know that James was the one?
Well, when I met James, I was 28 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And when you're at that age, you will really be excited about meeting your husband, right? So when I met James at that age, I knew that whoever is that person that I'm going to meet and whoever I'm going to date, that is the last boyfriend that I'm going to date. And so there's that. I was already 28 years old and ready to get married. And second, during my singleness, like I really prayed to God to give me somebody who would be able to take care of me and whom I would be able to take care of as well. So I have like a list of things that I want from a guy or from my husband, and James checked off all of those items in that list. And so that's that. And then third, so James and we met in 2017, and if I'm not mistaken, and in around 2015 or 2014, I was doing my devotion, and that's the time when I came to Christ. I was doing my devotion, and I was like begging God to give me that person to marry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes when you ask God to do something for you, God will not give it to you right away. Like He will really test your patience, right? The more you ask for it, the more you're gonna like struggle for it, because like it's sometimes it's like building your characters through the struggles that you're going to experience while waiting for that prayer to be answered. And so in 2015, I was like asking God, like, God, what do you really want me to do? And I thought during that time, God wanted me to become a missionary, because I've been going out on mission trips and different types of outreaches. And during my devotion with God, He told me that I will be moving to a different country. And I thought that I will become a missionary. But then when I met James,
It didn't look like you thought.
yeah. And then when I met James, like it all made sense to me. Like my devotions and my prayer to God, I was like, oh, so
Okay.
I wasn't really going to be a missionary. I'm going to be moving to the States. Although this is still a mission field, but it's a different kind of mission. My mission is to satisfy James.
No. Oh, I love that though, because like I think sometimes when God puts things in our heart like that we need to pursue, like a dream or a calling, it's like being a missionary. Like I have that calling of my life too, but like it looks different sometimes than what we perceive it, and when we actually are in it, in that season, it's like, oh, now I get it. Like that makes a lot more sense. That's really cool. Oh, I love that. All right. What's your favorite way to pass time together?
Yeah, it's both like spending time together and giving each other space as well. I think that's very, very important. It's kind of like when, I know it's marriage, and this is probably a bad analogy. If you keep on eating tacos every day, you're gonna you're gonna
tired of tacos.
you're gonna get tired of tacos, right? So you don't want that in your relationship. So you need to spicing it up, and I think part of spicing it up is giving each other space and letting each other do what they want to do. But when it comes to our favorite pastime, it's probably watching movies and playing with our dog. But we'd rather actually go outside and travel. And recently we discovered that we love snowboarding and skiing. You know, I was doing skiing and James was doing snowboarding. So that's actually something that we really love doing. And we're excited for the next winter actually because of that. Yeah.
So now that helps you embrace the cold weather of the
I know,
Ohio.
right? I used to hate it, and now I was like, I can't wait for November where we can ski again.
That's awesome. That's really cool. What habits changed when you got married?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if this is a habit, but I think I changed. I think I changed. Like,
Yeah.
actually, I thought when I was single, I thought I already knew myself 100%. But when I got married, it was like, oh, there's this part of me that I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that I can be like this monster, right?
I created a monster.
It's like, it's either marriage is either going to like bring out the best in you or bring out the monster in you.
it brings out both.
I feel like it's both. So, but I've really changed. When I was single, my love language was quality time and touch.
Physical touch.
Physical touch.
Yes.
And that's because, you know, when you're single, you wanna be intimate with someone, right? Nobody is intimate with you, so that's something that you long for.
Yeah.
But now that I'm married, like I have everyday access to intimacy, you know, if I want to. So that has changed. So now my love language, even without taking the test again, I know that my love language now is acts of service and also affirmation. Like I want James affirming me, telling me how beautiful I am, and folding my clothes.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I can relate to that because I've always been words of affirmation. That's been a huge love language for me, but agreed, like in the last year or so I've discovered acts of service. Like I really appreciate coming home to a clean house, where like, yes, I will take a Saturday to clean, like don't get me wrong, I love cleaning, but if I come home and I can just relax after a long day of work, it's so nice. Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, which is good because D'Angelo actually likes cleaning with me as well, so it's not
That's
like,
nice.
it's not like he's like, oh god, you know, clean or anything. He actually likes doing it too, so it's good. So I love him for that. All right, so what is it like being married to an American?
Oh. Well, first, I feel like there is no difference whether you marry an American or somebody from a different culture, from a different country, because I don't really see James as an American, you know, like even as I'm talking to you, like I don't see you like, oh, I'm talking to like a white American right now. So I don't see people because of their race or color or whatever. I see their heart. But if there's anything that is kind of, if there's something that I had to get used to, is walking around with James when I'm in the Philippines, because I feel like there is a stigma that if you're from a third world country and you marry somebody from America or Canada, anywhere from like a rich country, there's a stigma that, you know, that person who came from the third world country, there's a possibility that that person only wants money from, you know, from the guy. I feel like there's a stigma like that. So every time we're in the Philippines, especially the first few times that James visited the Philippines, like I didn't even want to hold hands with him. Like it felt very uncomfortable because I feel like I think about people so much. Like I don't want them to think that, yeah, you're with American guy, okay, so he took you out of your poverty or poverty, poverty or whatever. And so, yeah, but I like that we are multicultural couple because we get to share each other's culture, and I think it's not so much about marrying, what it feels like marrying an American guy, but I feel like it's about just getting married, regardless of the culture, the status, or the color, the race. Yeah.
And I think it's cool too because obviously, D'Angelo is Brazilian and we go hang out with the Brazilian side of the family, which, for me at first, like, this is like a culture shock. But I think it's really cool sometimes when you live inside your own bubble and it's just like you have your own way of thinking, but then when you actually expose yourself to how other people live, like, it kind of causes you to like be a little bit more open-minded. And I feel like because there's things that I've taught or I've learned from you, from your values from the Philippines, that, America has a lot of different values and Philippines has a lot of different values. And so I think there's always things that we can learn from each other in a really beautiful, positive way. And I love it. I've always been interested in like learning from other cultures and stuff.
And that's true. Like, it make you think that, what I know now is not really everything. Yeah.
Yes.